Welcome to Coffee with the Admin on Zoom this morning. We hope you have your coffee ready or your tea if that's what suits you. I'm actually just going to take a minute to let Mr. Noel talk about our translation services for today. So Noel, why don't you take that away?
Buenos días. ¿Me pueden escuchar? Can you guys hear me?
I hear you.
Perfect. Si necesitan traducciones simultáneas, yo voy a estar en la otra línea. Solamente tienen que llamar al número que está en pantalla, 605-468-8788. De inmediato, ponga el código que aparece aquí, 6586977. No pulse ninguna otra tecla, solamente eso. Lo espero. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Okay, and Edward, if you could drop that information into the chat now, and then about 10 minutes into the presentation too, just in case any families join us a little late and need translation services as well. Okay, so we are about to get started. Today is March 5th. Cannot believe we are in March and that spring is just around the corner. The year is going by so fast. And just like last year, we're doing this as a middle of the year touch base. I give you important updates, some important information, especially as we head into testing season. And a place for questions. So at the end of this, we will host a short Q&A. Some of you have wrote in questions already. We'll answer those, and then other questions you may ask at the end of this meeting. Please keep yourselves on mute until the end when we will ask that if you are comfortable speaking to take yourself off mute and ask a question, or we also have the ability for you to put questions in the chat so that we can answer those. But please don't do questions until the end. It's important that everybody's focus be on the presentation and the information that we're giving you during our time together this morning. And for any families that are unable to join and they ask you about it, please let them know that we are recording today and it will be available for all families in our upcoming newsletter as well. We know the time can be tricky for some families. Okay, next slide. Spring conferences are this month. This is a wonderful opportunity to meet with the teachers that your children see every day, and they will give you important updates regarding their academics as well as their social emotional well-being. This is a great time for you to look at the year so far and where your child has progressed, and also to make a plan for the remaining part of the school year as well to ensure as much success as possible for your child. This is a good time to talk about concerns that you have for your child as well. So please be sure to sign up for your conference. Both links are available for both schools, both elementary and middle school. You can scan the QR code on this slide, and the dates are as follows. Thursday, March 13th for elementary school will be an in-person conference day. So if you sign up for that day, please come in person. And then Friday, March 14th at the elementary school is the virtual options. As a reminder, for March 13th and March 14th, that will be a half day for elementary students only. So middle school will have full day on those 2 days. And then for middle school conferences, Thursday, March 20th will be in person, and Friday, March 21st will be virtual conferences. And on those days, it will be a half day for middle school students only with a noon dismissal. Elementary will have full day school on those days. And other important factors, we are asking that in the Calendly links, if you are in need of translation, please indicate so. But please, I want to make it known that we are a little bit limited this year on translation services. And so if you have the ability to bring someone to translate with you, please do so. And Mr. Noel works really, really hard to get as many people on our translation team as possible to support. So if you are unable to, we will be working towards accommodating that as well. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you to the families who have already filled out the DOE survey for us. It is a very helpful survey for our school. It gives us very good information and feedback on our programming. And it also helps the school actually portray itself out in the world for families who are looking to choose a good school for their children. So please feel free to fill that survey out if you haven't already. The QR code is on this screen if you want to save it for later. If you have done it already, we thank you very much. Again, it really does support us in our planning each year. We look at those survey results very carefully. And if you haven't, please make sure you do so in the coming days. It also can be found, I believe, in the newsletter and also on the website as well. Correct, Edward? Got you. I see you. Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, next slide. I am going to turn this over to the elementary school APs, where they're going to talk to you a little bit about Kids Heart Challenge and National Reading Month.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. I hope you're all having a great morning. I'm going to talk a little bit about our Kids Heart Challenge that just wrapped up. We were lucky enough to partner with the American Heart Association this year and get our students and families involved with the Kids Heart Challenge, where it was an opportunity for students and families to learn a little bit more about heart safety and also learn a little bit more about how to give CPR if it's necessary. We had such a great, and I want to express my gratitude. We had such amazing participation this year. We raised almost $2,500 for the American Heart Association. We had 52 students sign up. 19 families who have learned hands-on CPR, and 7 students who actually completed the whole FINS mission. So once again, just thank you so much to our families for participating. And I don't know if you saw, but we ended our Kids Heart Challenge yesterday with a closing ceremony where a couple of the leadership team got pied in the face. We had a really great time. I still have pie in my hair, I think, but it was a really great time and we really had a lot of fun. So thank you everyone for that.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Ms. Latman. I'm going to talk a little bit about National Reading Month. So this is a first for our school this year. March is National Reading Month, and we are celebrating as a whole school through what we are calling Read Across AOC. So each week, the entire school is reading books focused on a specific theme. You can see on the slide that this week we launched with Women's History Month, and then the other themes coming up later through the month are friendship, perseverance, and celebrating diversity. We've also launched buddy reading throughout the school. So our upper grade students are partnered with lower grade students, and they're having some shared buddy reading experiences throughout the week and the month. Yesterday was our first day. We had our 3rd graders with the kindergartners, and they really enjoyed it. Every Friday also is a fun Friday. This Friday, I think everyone's really looking forward to it. We're dressing up as our favorite book characters. So definitely, if you could, get excited to see that at like dismissal or arrival, it'll be fun. And, just in general, students and teachers are really enjoying it so far. We're only 3 days into it, but there are some really creative things coming up in the weeks ahead. Thank you. Next slide, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mr. Faulkner. I'm the athletic director over at the middle school. Our athletics department has been very, very, very busy this year, and we wouldn't have it any other way. We're starting to wrap up our winter season with basketball. Our boys basketball team did very well. They ended the season at 2-8. But our girls basketball team is not done. They're still fighting for contention in the playoffs, which is today. I have so many butterflies in my stomach, but I will get through it. So there's going to be a game at today at 4 o'clock. Our spring season is starting. Our esports team has already began their competitions. They had their first competition last week and they won. So they are currently undefeated. You can see them in the bottom corner of your screen. They are very excited to be representing AOC, not just in New York, but against other schools in the region. So they are representing us very, very well. Tryouts for the spring sports for volleyball for girls this year is going to be next Monday, 3/10/25. Please note that the registration form that has been emailed and is in the newsletter, it needs to be filled out. It's the same thing for the boys soccer tryouts, which is on Tuesday, March 11th. It needs to be filled out because we need to know what kids are coming, what students are going to be taking the shuttle bus. We need to know how kids are going to be dismissed after tryouts. We need to know if there's any things that we need to look out for medical conditions, anything like that. So if the students come and they didn't fill out the form, we don't have them on, they're not going to be able to try out that day. So they can't just show up and come and expect to be part of that tryout. It's really important that the students take note of the date and take the proper steps to making sure that they can attend the tryout. The middle school and elementary school are going to be having sports clinics. You might have heard about the February volleyball clinic that we ran. We opened it up to 5th graders at the elementary school as well as middle school. We're looking to make that a mainstay now that we're starting to notice how much athletics is a big part of our school. We're starting to partner with high-level coaches, high-level trainers to bring these sporting experiences for both campuses. So this April sneak peek, we are looking to partner with a company as soon as the details are ironed out. Hopefully during the spring break in April, we will have a camp for the elementary school kids as well to partake in athletics. Also look forward to further announcements during the summertime. We're looking to have those same high-level coaches come to work with our kids in the summertime. We're trying to give our kids as much exposure to athletics as possible. Another benefit to allowing your students to participate in athletics is we have different college partnerships, different high school partnerships that we're also looking to foster as well. So the basketball teams were able to go to Baruch College this year and work with some of the female basketball athletes and interview them and ask them questions about what it's like to be a student athlete at the college level. It was really, really great that the kids at Baruch College, we really give them thanks for being so patient with our kids as they ask them questions. Last Saturday, we had a partnership with Northside Charter High School, where they offered our basketball teams a free basketball clinic to work with former and current professional basketball players to kind of bridge the gap between some of their weaknesses to turn them into strengths. It was a really great partnership. So not only is athletics a great way to get the kids on a sports team, but there's other benefits as well. And more of that is going to be announced to come. Thank you. Next slide, please.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Miss Woody, for those of you who I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet. I'm going to talk a little bit about an update on our student government. So this year, we have brought back student government in full force. Right before we went on midwinter recess, we hosted an incredibly lively debate for all of our students to participate in and for our candidates to go back and forth on different questions and issues that they wanted to ask around about school. So after the debate, our elections were held and we have a full government in place. Just like we did in years past, our president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary are all 8th graders, but then we do have one delegate per each 6th and 7th grade class that will come to the table as well and together make collaborative decisions or pitches to better enhance their school day. So monthly meetings are starting this month and they'll meet with our administration team along with Mr. J to make some proposals and some goals that they have for their term this year. We've already heard down the pike that we do have a pitch coming from 8th graders about a potential off-campus lunch day, in addition to some other Spirit Week ideas. So excited to see where this takes us and excited to have this back at the middle school. Next slide, please.
Good morning, everyone. It is testing time. Spring is here, and that means our testing will be starting. So this year, our grades 4th through 8th graders will be taking a computer-based test. That's called our CBT test. And our 3rd graders will be the only students who will be taking it on paper. But as of next year, all grades 3 through 8, will be testing on the computer-based test. So the ELA tests begin in April. April 23rd is when the computer test will be for grades 4 through 8, April 23rd and 24th. And then the week after, on April 29th, 3rd graders will take their paper-based tests. In addition to that, come the beginning of May, we will have our math test where CBT for 4th through 8 will start on May 6th and May 7th, and then 3rd grade will overlap one day on May 7th and May 8th. Next slide, please. So why should we test? So testing is an important part of school culture across the city and the state. It does help our school determine how students are progressing and how they're performing compared to their peers. And it also gives us an insight into which students might need some more support. It allows you to learn how your child's school is doing compared to other schools. And some middle school and high schools also use test scores as part of their criteria to gain admittance. It's never used as a sole or primary measure for promotion or admissions decisions, but some schools do look at these scores. As a SUNY charter school, that is our authorizer, they measure our academic standing largely based on our state score performance. Students who take our state test have the option to participate in test prep programs, including the DREAM program. And state tests are preparations for high school regents, which are required for high school graduation. So testing is definitely an important part of our school culture, and we make it so that students, just feel like it's an everyday part of our process. Now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Harold and Ms. Whitty so they could talk to you a little bit about how we've been preparing our students for the test coming up.
Hi, everyone. Ms. Harold again. We understand that with testing time can come a bit of anxiety or pressure. We want to ensure you that we are doing everything we can to make sure that it is a fun, engaging experience and that students are fully prepared and supported throughout the process. So here are just some things that we're doing at the elementary school level. All students took a mock practice state test in both ELA and math. And that exposed them to the format of the test, the types of questioning, and then teachers were able to use that data to make small groups and really give individualized instruction. Teachers and students have been working really hard with also using iReady data and other formative assessments to determine grouping and support for each student. Going with the small group, teachers and students have also been working really hard with dedicating time to creating, engaging stations that really helps to sustain both rigorous still instruction, but creating that positive and engaging atmosphere.
And then over at the middle school, very similarly, we started our test prep season with a mock exam in ELA and in math, just so that students could gear up towards that exposure again. And because we are all computer-based testing, we also did a simulation on the computer so students could get that exposure of what it would be like to test with the computer and not paper-based. Every day during academic enrichment, students are doing test prep through the use of iReady, which is an online platform that responds to your students in real time based on the answers that they submit, so that they're getting this individualized attention from a program. And while that's occurring, teachers are also pulling small groups at that time, pending how students did in the practice exam, so that they can get that real strategic instruction on what of their next steps are. And then we're also pulling from old exams too, just so that they're getting that repeated exposure to that as well. Our math teachers are also doing math boot camps during their instructional time leading up to the state exam. And that's really just to enhance those foundational skills and make sure that facts are really strong, multiplication, division, things that might freeze them in the moment so that it's really fresh in their mind. And then we're also providing extra ELA and math tutoring hours during the school day. And again, teachers make those recommendations based on who would benefit from that, but it's open to students during the instructional day as well. And the purpose of those small groups is really focused on one skill at a time to help them with what they're working on in their test preparation. Next slide, please.
Okay, so how to get ready. And there is not a lot of pressure on the parents to really do anything. We're handling most of the preparations in class. We do recognize that testing is important and preparation is important, but we don't want it to become the kids' entire lives. So practice is more throughout the day, like normal part of instruction, but you will see some of the practices in their homework, which is good for you to kind of get an idea of what the students are being exposed to in terms of getting them ready. For the days leading up to the test, they should be getting a good night's sleep, coming to school on time because the tests have a very strict starting time. So we need all the students here, having breakfast, eating, and really just getting ready to take the test. They should come no later than 8:20 so that they do have time to eat and relax before the test begins. If a student happens to be absent, which happens, on the day of a test, there are makeup days for every single test. So you could just contact the school and I will let you know when they can make it up. And also on those testing days, we do give snacks in the middle of the test. We know that keeps them going and helps them to be relaxed and calm down. So please feel free to send in water bottles and snacks for them to have while they test. Next slide, please.
Okay, I'm going to introduce our PCO. Just a note about testing. For families of 8th graders, Regents dates will be announced shortly. We are still in the process of ordering Regents. It happens around this time. So once we have all those information and dates, we will be releasing those to 8th grade parents so that you can prepare for those as well. And now I do believe we have some of our PCO in the audience. So I'm going to turn this over to our PCO about important updates and things that they're doing to keep our family community engaged.
Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, I want to say cheers to so many amazing updates this morning. As you see the flyer, our upcoming bingo event is this Friday, March 7th. PCO has been working extremely hard on this event. If you haven't purchased the tickets, please do so. You're going to have an amazing time. Also, there's childcare for an additional $10. So anybody who needs like a date night or a break, this disco bingo is for you to attend. We have our upcoming Scholastic Book Fair, which is going to be held March 24th through March 28th. We're going to have some new books for grades kindergarten through 6th grade. So please remember those dates, the 24th through the 28th. You'll also get a reminder in your child's folder from the teachers, so no worries. After that, we'll be working on our big spring festival event, which will be April 5th. So please save those dates. And just a reminder to all the parents that all the money that's raised from these events is to help our school with the things that they need and for our upcoming future events. I just want to say thank you so much for your continuous support, all the parents and AOC staff. And for the parents that donated for bingo, thank you so much. It was much appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. And I want to say good luck to our AOC basketball girls team today. I hope we win. And I'm going to pass it over to our middle school PCO president, Alex, so she can give you some updates on MS. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
You are good.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. I'm Alex Rosario. Yes, we are very excited. Like Tiffany mentioned, our bingo event is going to be amazing. So we hope to see everybody there. A little reminder, tickets are only on sale until tomorrow and no tickets will be sold at the door. Upcoming middle school events. We're going to be having a middle school dance, April 25th. I'm looking for parent volunteers. And please save the date. We are going to be having a sip and paint at middle school on May 2nd. That's also going to be a 21 and over event for parents that need like a date night to come out and support. Again, like Tiffany mentioned, all the money we're raising is for our school events and everything that the school will need. Our disco event, a portion of our sales is for our 5th and 8th grade senior events. So please come support. And again, please be on the lookout for the upcoming school year. PCO positions will be opening up. Anybody interested in finding out how to be part of the PCO board, please reach out to aoc.pco@gmail.com. And that's all I have to present.
Need to find my mute button. Thank you so much, Tiffany and Alex. We thank you again for all your work and with the rest of the PCO. And again, thank you to all the families, especially with all the donations for the bingo items. We do hope that we see many of you there. Many members of the leadership team and a bunch of our staff and teachers will be there. So please buy tickets, come hang out with us. It's a lot of fun. I was there last year and had a super fun time and did win a basket myself too. So that's super fun. But looking forward to all the events. Okay, next, as we head into spring, this is a uniform reminder as the spring weather and the warm weather comes, looking forward to it on our end. I'm sure you all are too. A reminder to have students come in uniform. Both schools will be checking for uniforms. Remember that uniforms for AOC serve as an equalizer. It is meant to have a stability for students to wake up in the morning, know what to dress for, and not have to compete with a lot of social standards that are constantly changing in our environment and world today. But we do let a little bit of uniqueness into our policy as opposed to other schools. So it is any solid color polo. That's where the unique comes. If certain colors don't jive with your child, you pick the colors that work with your child. But it is a solid color polo with AOC Wolves patch with the apple. And then it's navy or black pants, skirt, jumper, or shorts. Navy or black sweater, no hoods, please. Shoes, boots, sneakers are the safest options for our school environment and what we expect of children. Please, no Crocs or flip-flops. And patches, we are fully stocked again, and they are available in both schools at the main offices for $2 each. And we thank you for working with us in ensuring that our uniform policy is in compliance. Next, please.
So this is a very exciting time for our 7th graders as we gear up to the spring and get ready for their 8th grade year. It's time to start talking about high school. So Miss Heather Miller, who we partner with from Athena Learning, is leading 2 mandatory family workshops. You can pick the one that works best for your schedule. There's one March 6th that's in person, and then one March 18th that's on Zoom. During this meeting, you're going to get a lot of helpful information around the high school application process, what school choices there are in New York City, what support you need, and just any kind of information that's important for families to know to help guide you on this journey. This is only the beginning. There's many more things and workshops to come, but this is a really good touch point to start, and really highly encourage participation in one of these meetings. Additionally, if you are an 8th grade parent, we're really excited for tomorrow. As you know, public school, high school announcements will be released. So if you have any questions or things that come up around your placement, please feel free to reach out, and look forward to partnering on 7th grade high school readiness. Next slide, please.
Okay, before we finish our presentation, this is just a reminder about all the upcoming dates in March. Again, please make sure that you're subscribed to our newsletter. Every week we send an updated newsletter that goes over important things that are happening in the school and always gives a list of important dates as well. There's a lot of things that happen between both of the schools, a lot of exciting things. We don't want you to miss them. So please make sure you are reading through our newsletter. Some weeks they're longer than others. Apologize, but there's lots of good things to share. So this Friday, March 7th, will be a half day for students, noon dismissal, so that teachers can have professional development. Also, this Friday is the PCO bingo event. Again, looking forward to seeing you there. And then we have all of our spring conferences, as I mentioned earlier this month. And then Tuesday, March 25th at 3:30 p.m., we invite elementary school families to the ES Art, Library, and Spanish Expo, where every student will have work on display. And then March 25th through the 27th, PCO hosts the Elementary School Scholastics Book Sale, where during the expo, there will be an additional opportunity to buy books from the book sale during the expo. And then Monday, March 31st, there will be no school in celebration of Eid. And that is our upcoming dates for March. Next slide. Okay, at this time, I'm going to say, as always, thank you to all the families. Thank you for always supporting our school. I am going to turn this now into our Q&A session, where we will start first with the questions that were in the registration link, and I will have Edward be reading the questions to us. Various members of the leadership team will be able to answer. We will do our best to answer all the questions. If we can't answer, we will try our best to get an answer to you in the next couple of days, or at least in the next newsletter as well. And then, so we will do questions from registration, Edward. Then we will have the opportunity, if you're comfortable, to raise your hand and ask a question out loud, or if you're not able to put a question into the chat, which Edward will also read aloud. So Edward, let's start with registration questions.
All right. So from a seventh grade parent, when will clubs be re-implemented?
Okay, Nora, you want to take that one away?
Yes, so we're actually in the process right now of planning out clubs to happen once a week, especially with test prep ending and testing season coming up, wanting to give students that breathe out time to get together and enjoy a club together. So we're doing interest surveys with our teaching staff right now around what club offerings to have, and within the next month or so, rolling out clubs again.
And similarly, we'll be doing the same thing in the elementary schools, gearing up for spring clubs. Next question, Edward.
From a sixth grade parent, they have a question about math homework.
Carrie, I know you saw this question. Would you like to answer this one?
Sure. I do know that math homework is posted daily. It is usually on the Google Classroom. Sometimes it's posted a little bit later, around 4 or 4:30. There's usually a video to watch, and then they have to either take notes. Sometimes there's a worksheet. Sometimes there's 2 attached. So if you have any further questions about the sixth grade math homework, please feel free to email, and I can clarify it more for you.
All right. From a fifth grade parent, will there be an ED in the future?
Okay, I'll take that question. So as of right now, we are going to stay consistent with which is my role, the head of school model, and having all of the additional assistant principals and our director of student support and our director of school operations. With the head of school role, it allows us to work together to unify both schools. As I mentioned before, that was our mission over the last year and this year. Head of school allows for me to have more of a grounding point within the actual school day-to-day business. This allows me to work closely with the assistant principals. An executive director, while I'm performing those duties as well, executive director is more about the business aspect of running the school. And so I do those things while also maintaining the culture of the school along with the wonderful leadership team that I have. So as of right now, we'll be continuing with the head of school model.
All right. A question from a kindergarten parent. My daughter is in need of a tutor. If anyone can assist, I would greatly appreciate that.
Okay, Alicia, you're more than welcome to, but I think this parent might be best off contacting Noelle for tutoring services. I see you shaking your head. So yes, Noelle, why don't we, we'll on the side let you know what parent that is, and we can get you in touch and get you some support there.
Yeah, that is all for the registration questions. There are a couple in the chat.
Let's do those.
I'll read these. Could you share last year's test scores, ELA math? How do we compare to public schools, other charters, and private schools?
Okay, so while I can't tell you how we compare specifically to each independent charter, what I can tell you as based on our SUNY report that we have to do every school year, we outperformed the state and we outperformed against the other city schools as a whole. That's the information that we were given this time around. So we are doing very well, but we are looking to do even better this year. What I will tell you, and what most schools are still kind of adjusting to is post-pandemic. We are not in the same place that we were pre-pandemic. And so we've been working steadily with our scores growing each year coming out of the pandemic. But we did outperform the state and we outperformed the city school in general, was the information we were shared. So I hope that helps.
Are students allowed to wear only navy blue pants? Are they allowed to wear black? I wanted to make sure.
Yes, navy or black pants are okay. We made that change, I believe, last year, understanding that just blue pants was a little bit difficult sometimes to secure, as it's a very popular school uniform pant, and so we allow both navy and black.
Kids getting minimum homework for math. Math is very important and need a lot of practice. Videos is not enough. How can we go about it?
Okay, I'll let Nora or Carrie, because I'm assuming this is a middle school.
Yeah, I know from the math homework that I've seen, they do have practice sheets that go along with the topic for each day. Our motto is never to have hours and hours of homework for our middle school students. They do have several subjects a day that they are getting homework for consistently. So the message that administration sends is, homework review for each subject, but not overwhelming the students with hours of homework for each subject. So a review sheet based on what they did during the day is sufficient practice. Plus, as Ms. Whitty said, there are tutoring sessions throughout the day scheduled with the math teachers. So if a particular student needs more support, I know that is available. Ms. Whitty, do you have anything to add about the homework?
No, that was exactly what I was going to say. The only thing I would add is that there are, in some cases, pending the situation and the student, where you can always reach out to one of us or the math teacher as well if you're feeling like you would like to see additional resources at home to provide extra practice. Please feel free to get in contact with us so we can provide that as well.
Yeah, that's all I see right now for the questions in the chat.
Okay, does anybody have a question that they feel comfortable coming off of mute? Just hit the raise your hand button, which is, let me see, for anybody who's not sure. Edward, do you remember where that is? Because even I'm having trouble remembering. Oh, I see it. The React.
Oh, so there's a couple more questions in the chat. Question summarizing asks for an account creation code. Can this be shared? I wasn't able to find it.
I'll jump in on that. So yes, just contact your operations team and we'll help you out with that.
I have a question.
Sure. Brittany?
Yes. So I'm just having some confusion with tutoring. I just want to confirm that that's just for middle school side.
Yes. Nora, do you want to speak a little bit on middle school tutoring?
Yes. No, I understand the middle school side. However, I just was was in need of the elementary school side, but I was told that Blake wasn't able to receive any tutoring unless she was in ELA. I mean, something if she wasn't in some.
I see what you're asking about. You're asking about at-risk services. I see. How about I think it's Miss Saunders. I'm sorry for calling you Brittany, but how about I have Miss Fabrizi connect with you after this?
That would be great.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. I would like to know who will grade the New York State test this year.
Who will grade them? Ms. Fabrizi, you want to go over how that's done?
Sure. So we partner with a charter school center that scores all of our tests and many of the tests from most of the charter schools. So our tests are scanned in to the ATS system of New York, where all of the answer documents are scanned. And then we have this company that grades our short and long responses as well as the math tests. Then they compile a list of the scores. They send us all the documents of each question, scores, any errors they may find, with detailed reports, and then we get the final report towards the end of the summer.
All right. Is AOC Middle School part of Summer Rising location?
No, currently we are not.
I see someone, iPhone 3 has their hand raised.
Yes, good morning. Hi.
Morning.
I am the mother of the middle school, the sixth grade twins. I received the email from the Power School saying that there was a cyber breach and that we can go to the credit score and, to see, to put basically the kind of like subscribe for them to make sure that it's monitored. Is it coming directly from school or it actually goes from the Power School? Does the AOC has something to do with that? Are you guys joined together or it's separately from the school, the Power School, for the grades? Because it says that the personal information was compromised.
Yes, I'm going to have Rory answer this question, our Director of School Operations. Rory?
Sure. So Power School is the one to answer your question succinctly. Power School is the company that's providing those services. So it's nothing to do with the school. We use Power School. There was a data breach that Power School had, not related through anything that our school does. It was with an engineer that they use externally. Some data from not just our school, lots of schools were compromised, including things such as schedules and addresses. We don't keep any personal information like social security numbers in there. We use an OSIS number, but Power School, as part of their being directed by the FBI, is required to provide monitoring, credit monitoring to all staff and or students and families who were affected by this. So it's run through Power School themselves. It's nothing to do with the school.
Got it, because it shows that you can have the monitoring for, I think, like first 30 days or something, and then after that you have to pay for. So that's why we were kind of, okay, so if it's, it's not, it just came out for if it's from the school or it's from them, because why do we have to pay afterwards to monitor when it wasn't our fault that it was a breach on the information?
Totally. Yep. It's all through Power School. The school's not contracted at all with that credit monitoring company. Power School's the one who sends those out.
Got it. Thank you. And I also have another question. I know you did answer, that's about the math homework. So my question is, and as I ask, why we're not getting enough homework, they do get some of the homework, but math is a very important subject in the middle school, and it's gonna get harder and harder. I don't see any reviews for the math since we start school. From from August to December, there was barely any reviews or any homework for the math. Right now, I start seeing a little bit, but again, it's maybe once a week or maybe once in 2 weeks. And I feel like that's not sufficient for the kids to remember and kind of, grind in their head what needs to be studied. Again, I don't want too much homework as well, but I feel like they do need to practice. And the videos, just to watch a video, it's not enough.
I mean, I'm a sixth grade parent too. So I see that he has homework every day in math. So just double check with the boys. There also is a math enrichment period every day. Every week where they get an extra math period with their teacher. So they might be getting some work done during that period for homework. or they might be I'm not really sure. Just check in with the boys, but I do know math homework is given daily.
I do double check their work and I check their folders and everything. And there's work is done in school, but I don't see any work and it's completely done, but I don't see any work for the homework. And that's why it was my concern.
Okay, double check Google Classroom and then always reach out to Ms. McGregor or me or Ms. Whitty, and we can assist you more with getting them any additional work that you would like.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So there's another question in the chat. Found out my child is below average in ELA. We did SAT in December and he didn't do well. Any support offered to improve his score or better to contact homeroom teacher? He is in 4th grade.
Yes, I think absolutely start with the homeroom teacher, but then also feel free, and Miss Harold, this is where I'm going to not necessarily tag you in, but I would also reach out to Miss Harold because she can look a little bit more specifically at your child's academics and make a plan with you as well. And Miss Harold, can you just put your email in the chat so they can save it?
Absolutely, no problem.
Another from a parent. I'm sorry, this is my first test prep. The 3rd grade, will they take the test at the school or somewhere else?
Miss Harold? After you're done putting your email in the chat.
Yes, so all students will be taking the state test in their classroom unless they are pulled out for additional services or accommodations.
Anything else, Edward?
That's all for questions.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll take this opportunity to close our session together. Again, please, if you do have questions, always reach out to the teachers. And if beyond the teachers, you need additional support, please reach out to one of us or MS Operations or ES Operations, especially if you're not sure who to go to. They are always good at navigating and connecting you to the right person. And as always, Mr. Noel is always available to also guide you in any support that you need. He's a wonderful family coordinator, as you all know. And again, I do want to take time to say thank you for joining us today, but also thank you so much for choosing our school, being with us at Academy of the City. We would not be the school we are without all of you joining us and always supporting us in the things that we are doing. We've been introducing a lot of different things this year and testing the waters with things. And we're just so thankful for the feedback and the support that you've given us. So with that, I wish you a wonderful rest of the day and hope to see you in the upcoming events as well.